If the only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the way you focus your energy, think about that for a moment. Every single day, your mind is pulled in 1,000 different directions. Notifications, opinions, endless comparisons, people telling you what you should do, how you should live, what you should want. And in all that noise, the most important voice, the one inside you, gets drowned out. That's why so many people feel stuck, tired, and unfulfilled. They are living for everyone else but themselves. But what if, starting today, you chose a different path? What if you decided that your time, your energy, your focus belong to you first? How different would your life look? Most people never give themselves that gift. They sacrifice their dreams just to fit in, to keep others happy, or to avoid judgment. And slowly, piece by piece, they forget who they are. But you are not here to live small. You are not here to simply survive while your potential withers away. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You feel it in the quiet moments when nobody's watching. That inner pull, that whisper reminding you that life could be richer, bolder, more meaningful if only you dared to claim it. That whisper is not an accident. It's your inner compass. And the moment you decide to focus on yourself, you align with it. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Because when you stop pouring all of your energy into pleasing others, you free that power to build yourself. And when you build yourself, you become stronger, more grounded, more capable of giving from a place of abundance rather than exhaustion. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and yet so many people try. That's why they break. But you don't have to break. You can rise, and it begins the moment you shift your focus inward. Ask yourself, what do you truly want? Not what your parents want, not what your friends expect, not what society glorifies. What do you, in the deepest part of your soul, crave? Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's help. Maybe it's freedom. Maybe it's a dream that terrifies you but won't leave you alone. Whatever it is, it's yours. And the only way to claim it is to stop scattering your attention and start directing it fully toward becoming the person who can live that vision. This is why you need to stay here, to keep listening, to allow every word to remind you of your power. Because this is not just about motivation, it's about transformation. Each moment you choose to focus on yourself, you create a ripple effect that touches every area of your life. Your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, your actions become bolder, and slowly, the life you once thought was impossible begins to take shape before your eyes. That is the reward waiting for you. A life where you no longer chase approval, but stand rooted in your own worth. A life where you stop surviving and finally start living. A life where you wake up excited, driven, and unshakably focused on the person you are becoming. And that journey starts right now. You have already carried the weight of doubt long enough. You know what it feels like to give your best energy to things that do not move you forward, to people who do not see your worth, to distractions that drain your spirit. And deep down, you also know this is not sustainable. You were not born to be scattered, restless, or half present in your own life. You were born to channel your strength, your attention, your courage into building something real. The moment you decide to stop running from yourself and finally stand still with your truth, everything begins to change. The first shift happens inside your mind. Most people believe their circumstances control them, but the truth is, your thoughts shape your reality long before your actions do. If your thoughts are cluttered with comparison, fear, or guilt, you will live small. If your thoughts are fueled by focus, determination, and self-respect, you will live strong. That is why choosing to focus on yourself is more than a decision. It is a declaration that you will no longer hand your power away. Every time you silence the noise and listen to your own inner voice, you take back control of your future. Think about the time you have already lost, pouring yourself into things that never filled you. Think about the energy wasted worrying about what others think. Think about the dreams you set aside because you were afraid to look selfish. That pain, that regret, it can end today. You do not need to keep repeating the same cycle. You have the power to draw a line and say, this is where it stops. This is where I reclaim my focus. And the moment you do, you shift from being a passenger in your life to being a driver. Focusing on yourself means valuing your time as sacred. It means realizing that every distraction you allow takes you one step further from the life you deserve. Time is the one resource you will never get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why you must guard it with everything you have. Ask yourself honestly, where does your time go? Who gets the best of your energy? Are you spending your days building your dreams? Or are you trapped in cycles that keep you small? The truth might hurt, but it will also set you free because awareness is the first step toward change. And here is the reward that makes this worth it. When you begin to focus on yourself, clarity replaces confusion. You wake up with a sense of direction. You no longer feel lost because you know exactly what you are working toward. You stop living on autopilot and start moving with purpose. You feel stronger, calmer, and more in control, even when life challenges you. And most importantly, you begin to experience the deep satisfaction that comes from progress. Small steps compound into big victories. Every day you stay focused is a day you move closer to the life that was meant for you. This is why your focus is everything. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Because the longer you delay, the longer you rob yourself of the joy, freedom, and strength waiting for you. It is time to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. It is time to turn inward, to rise higher, and to prove to yourself that you are capable of becoming so much more than you ever imagined. The power is in your hands, and the world is waiting for the version of you that chooses to focus fully, without apology, without hesitation, without fear. When you begin to protect your energy, something incredible happens. You start to see who you really are without the weight of other people's expectations crushing you. For the first time, you hear your own thoughts clearly. You recognize the dreams you buried, the strength you ignored, the voice you silenced to keep the peace. That awareness can feel uncomfortable at first because it forces you to face the gap between who you are today and who you could be. But that discomfort is not your enemy. It is proof that you are waking up. It is proof that you are no longer willing to accept a life of half-lived potential. Your focus is a mirror. It reflects what you value most. If your focus is scattered, it shows that you have been taught to give yourself away too cheaply. But when you decide that your life is worth more, your focus begins to sharpen. And with that clarity comes power. The power to direct your actions toward what truly matters. Psychology shows us that where attention goes, energy flows. If you pour your attention into negativity, that is what multiplies. If you pour it into growth, resilience, and progress, those qualities expand inside you until they shape your reality. You already have this power within you. The only question is how you choose to use it. There will always be noise. There will always be people trying to distract you, discourage you, or drag you back into old patterns. But when you learn to center your focus on yourself, their noise loses its grip. You no longer measure your worth by their opinions. You stop chasing approval and start building confidence that comes from within. That shift is life-changing because once you stop living for their applause, you become unstoppable. You move not for validation, but for fulfillment. And fulfillment is what makes life worth living. Imagine the strength you will feel when your sense of worth no longer rises and falls based on someone else's approval. Imagine how free you will be when your choices are guided not by fear of judgment, but by a deep alignment with your values. That is the reward of focusing on yourself, freedom. The freedom to live boldly, to try, to fail, to rise again without shame. The freedom to create a life that reflects who you truly are, not who the world told you to be. That freedom is waiting for you, but it will only appear once you decide to take yourself seriously enough to fight for it. Every transformation begins with a single decision. A decision to stop shrinking. A decision to stop delaying. A decision to give yourself permission to step into your own light. You cannot control everything around you, but you can always control where you place your focus. And when you place it on growth, on discipline, on self-respect, you set into motion a chain of changes that nothing can stop. That is how you build momentum. That is how you rise from where you are to where you were meant to be. You already know what it feels like to stay the same. You already know the weight of living below your potential. So why continue? Why waste another moment living a life that does not honor the greatness within you? The choice is yours, and the power is already in your hands. Focus on yourself because your future deserves nothing less than your full attention, your full effort, your full belief. This is the path to freedom, to strength, to transformation. This is the moment you prove to yourself that you are ready to rise. The greatest breakthroughs happen when you stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself the authority to act. Too many people waste years hoping someone else will validate their dreams, hoping circumstances will align, hoping life will hand them the perfect moment. But life does not wait, and time will not slow down until you are ready. The truth is, No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to push you. And no one is coming to hand you the life you want. It's up to you to claim it. And the first step to claiming it is to recognize that you are worthy of more than hesitation, more than excuses, more than settling for less than what sets your soul on fire. When you focus on yourself, you stop being a passenger to chance and start becoming the architect of your own destiny. Every day becomes an opportunity to design the life you want, brick by brick, choice by choice. And while the work may be hard, there is no greater satisfaction than knowing you are building something that belongs to you. Psychology shows that ownership creates meaning. When you take ownership of your growth, your habits, and your actions, even the smallest progress fills you with pride because you know it is yours. That sense of ownership fuels resilience, and resilience fuels unstoppable progress. But you cannot build this life if you are constantly distracted by the noise of comparison. Comparing yourself to others will always make you feel like you are behind, like you are not enough, like someone else has already claimed the life you want. The truth is, comparison is a trap. You cannot win a race that was never yours to begin with. Your path is unique, your pace is your own, and your only true competition is the person you were yesterday. When you embrace this truth, you stop wasting energy looking sideways and start channeling all of it forward. That is how you accelerate your growth, by focusing on your own lane with complete intensity. This focus also strengthens your discipline. Motivation may spark the flame, but discipline keeps it alive. Discipline is built when you choose progress over comfort, when you do what you said you would do, even when no one is watching. And every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. You prove to yourself that you are capable, dependable, and worthy of trust. That is how inner strength is forged, not in loud declarations, but in the quiet consistency of daily choices that align with who you want to become. And with discipline comes transformation, not the kind that happens overnight, but the kind that lasts, the kind that shapes your identity, rewires your beliefs, and turns your vision into reality. When you focus inward and take deliberate steps each day, you create momentum that compounds. Progress may feel slow at first, but suddenly you look back and realize you are no longer the same person. You are stronger. You are sharper. You are becoming the version of yourself that once felt impossible. That is the power of self-focus, turning impossibility into inevitability. Do not underestimate how powerful this moment can be for you. Right here, right now, you have the chance to choose differently, to stop living distracted and start living intentional, to stop chasing what others expect and start chasing what fulfills you, to stop doubting your worth and start proving your potential. The choice is in your hands, and it's a choice you must make every day. Focus on yourself, not because the world tells you to, but because deep down you know that your future depends on it. And when you make that choice consistently, you will not just change your life, you will change yourself. The moment you realize that your future is built on your daily decisions, everything changes. Success is not a mystery, it is not luck, and it is not reserved for a chosen few. It is the result of small, deliberate actions repeated with consistency. Every choice you make is either moving you closer to your potential or further away from it. This is why focus matters so deeply, because without it, your energy is scattered, and scattered energy cannot build anything strong. But when your focus is sharp, every step becomes intentional, and those steps begin to carve out a path that leads directly to the life you desire. Human behavior is driven by patterns. Most people repeat the same thoughts, the same habits, and the same emotions day after day. They get trapped in cycles of procrastination, distraction, or self-doubt, and then wonder why their lives do not change. The truth is, you cannot create a new future with the same patterns that built your present. You must disrupt them. You must choose to step outside of autopilot and bring conscious focus to how you think, how you act, and how you spend your time. This level of self-awareness is uncomfortable, but it is the birthplace of transformation, because the moment you see your patterns clearly, you have the power to rewrite them. Focusing on yourself means becoming intentional about what you feed your mind and body. Your environment, your habits, your inner dialogue, they are all shaping you whether you notice or not. If you consume negativity, you will feel heavy. If you surround yourself with distractions, you will feel scattered. But if you choose carefully, if you nourish your mind with growth, discipline, and clarity, you begin to rise. This is not theory, it is science. Your brain rewires itself according to what you repeatedly do and think. That means every focused choice you make today is literally shaping the person you will become tomorrow. Do not underestimate the power of this. 1 hour of disciplined action beats a whole day of distraction. One moment of courage beats years of hesitation. One decision to stay focused on yourself can change the entire direction of your life. And when you stack those decisions, when you repeat them consistently, you build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. Discipline becomes habit, habit becomes identity, and identity becomes destiny. That is the path of transformation, beginning with a single focused step and refusing to turn back. The reward for this level of focus is more than just external success. It is the peace of knowing you are living in alignment with your true self. It is the strength of waking up each morning with clarity instead of confusion. It is the confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself and proving daily that you are capable of more than you thought. And that inner confidence radiates outward, shaping how you carry yourself, how you face challenges, and how you build relationships. You stop chasing validation because you no longer need it. You are already grounded in your own worth. This is the life you were meant to live, not a life dictated by distractions, not a life built on comparisons, but a life of clarity, strength, and purpose. And the only way to reach it is to focus on yourself with relentless intention. Every moment is a chance to choose. Every day is a chance to rise. Do not waste it. Do not delay. The future belongs to those who dare to focus, and your future is waiting for you to step into it now. True growth demands that you release the weight you were never meant to carry. You cannot step fully into your power if your mind is chained to past mistakes, regrets, or failures. Too many people let yesterday define them, replaying old moments like scars that never heal. But those moments do not have to hold you hostage. They were lessons, not life sentences. The moment you shift your focus away from what broke you and toward what can build you, you reclaim your freedom. You cannot drive forward by staring into the rearview mirror. You must fix your eyes on the road ahead, because that is where your future lives. Psychology teaches us that the brain responds more strongly to what you focus on than to what actually happens. That means if you dwell on pain, your mind relives it as though it is happening again. But if you focus on growth, resilience, and possibility, your brain adapts to those signals instead. You begin to feel stronger, calmer, more capable, even before the results appear. This is why focus is not just a habit, it is a weapon. It allows you to break cycles of negativity and create new patterns of strength. The more you train your attention on who you want to become, the more your mind and body align to make it real. Letting go of the past is not about forgetting. It is about refusing to let it control you. Every wound you have carried, every failure you have endured, every disappointment you have faced, they do not define your worth. They are proof that you survived, proof that you are still here, proof that you are stronger than you thought. And strength is built not in the absence of pain, but in the decision to rise above it. When you focus on yourself, you stop asking why things happen to you and start asking how you can grow from them. That single shift changes everything. It turns obstacles into stepping stones, and what once felt like defeat becomes the very foundation of your comeback. You are not meant to stay trapped in cycles of regret. You are meant to evolve. Growth requires space, and you create that space by releasing what no longer serves you. This is why focusing inward is so powerful, because it teaches you to distinguish between what builds you and what breaks you. When you commit to your own growth, you naturally begin to shed the habits, relationships, and thoughts that hold you down. And though that process may feel painful, it is also liberating, because every release creates room for something greater to enter your life. Focus becomes the filter through which you allow only what strengthens you to remain. And as you release the old, you open yourself to the new. You begin to see opportunities where before you only saw barriers. You begin to feel possibility where before you only felt limitation. You realize that the story of your life is still being written and you are the one holding the pen. That awareness is your power. That decision to focus is your freedom. And with every step you take, you are proving that you are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you choose to do now. This is the moment to choose freedom over fear, progress over regret, and focus over distraction. The past may have shaped you, but it does not own you. Your focus belongs to the future you are building. And nothing is stronger than a mind that refuses to look back. This is your time to rise, to reclaim, to rebuild, and to prove to yourself that your best days are not behind you. They are waiting for you right in front of you. When you choose to release what no longer serves you, you create space for something greater to take root, your true potential. It has always been there, hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and distraction. But potential is not enough on its own. Untapped potential is wasted power. To bring it alive, you must feed it with focus, discipline, and belief. You must decide every day that you are worthy of becoming the person you imagine in your mind, because that vision you carry is not random. It is a glimpse of what you are capable of, and it is waiting for you to step into it with